that's right. But you know, there's some natural flaw to that. Actually, it's
Yeah, I guess so.
it's 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 natural, really. But there's the saying that if it all reduces down to three languages, that would be English, Spanish, and Chinese, based on what we experience now in the interests of, I don't know, business, really.
Yeah, also the fact that like countries like that, like over billion people, so it would make sense. Like that one of them. I'm surprised Russian isn't one of them. Like
Yeah,
over a billion
because
people in Russia.
it's kind of representative of what's happening right now. Because Russian is usually it's a waste. It's always a waste. If you think about it, and you see all these languages around, and you think about, okay, there could be only three. Which one would you pick? You know inherently that something is missing out because languages have a very distinctive way of putting things into life, into meaning, into emotion that some other languages aren't capable of doing. It's really about that. And my wife's actually learning Russian right now, and she says there's so much emotion, there's a certain logic, and it's beautiful by itself. It's not only the way you talk, it's also the way you write. And as soon as you think about those aspects, you know that personality will be lost as soon as you cut out any language. You can be really cheerful to know one language and English and maybe two other languages and be happy about all the different ways to put meaning to what you say. Language is really powerful,
Mm.
crazily powerful.
Yeah.
And that's why I also think that I kind of don't know if I know how to put certain things into German that I know now how I would phrase them in English. It's really weird. That's important.
Yeah, I understand you. Like sometimes the things you just can't explain in another language because it would make no sense if you
Right.
try to translate it. Like even you know, there's a lot of countries that even have words that can't be translated at all. Like
Exactly.
like
Right.
for example, in Danish we got a word called hygge, and that pretty much like it can't be translated, but the way to explain it is a word like we use the word when we are sitting home watching TV, chilling,
Right.
you know, and it's just weird, you know, the words you can't translate, you know, like people would
Yeah.
never fully understand
Yeah.
that.
There's some catch-all phrases combined into one word that have quite deep meaning and much more complicated to explain in other languages. I'm kind of interested in what Xeinok thinks about Eastern languages because I have no actual experience in those things. But I think I know that Japanese has two very distinctive ways of putting things to phrase, and it's a weird way to think about how you can say the same thing, but in context of society makes a total difference. It's basically what I imagine is in German any form of dialect that would cause other people to judge me more easily because I use certain phrases. It's always kind of code that has existed among society, you know, layers of society that know how to communicate amongst each other. There are languages where that is part of the language, and other languages where that's a hidden code. in a way.
Yeah,
It gets complicated.
like sometimes you have to be born almost in a country before you can fully understand like something people
It's
say,
true.
because it really can be translated and yeah, you don't have like the feeling about it like people have that born in the country.
That's true. I was kind of excited back when I was 15, so that's 17 years ago, when I was in Denmark, in Aarhus, where my step uncle, kind of, I don't know if that's a word, lived, and he was living there for 20 years in Aarhus. And when I met him with my cousin, who is his actual stepson, people there told me that he's so good at Danish that people wouldn't recognize he's not from there. So he's learned all of these minor differences in language and dialect that made him sound, I don't know, as if he was from there. And I found that's impressive because
He had the accent too, and
you don't only learn a language, you also incorporate tune of emotion, and it's complicated. I know if German and Danish are kind of related in any way, so I think that's easier in that case. But
yeah.
I found it impressive anyways, because it means so much more than just learning a language.
One thing is to be able to speak it, and another thing is to sound like you're from that country. That's the hard part, because people would often hear the accent or dialect that you don't sound correctly, like so you don't, it doesn't sound right.
Right.
Like every time like I play and people speaking English, I can hear straight away if it's a Danish guy because of the accent. It's
Yeah.
yeah, like sometimes I often even ask them if they're Danish just to confirm myself, and I'm correctly 9 out of 10 times, you know. It's so easy to hear.
Yeah. Did you ever? I'm curious. Did you hear that I'm kind of German based?
Yeah, you know, a lot of German people like you have like a really how do I explain it?
A hard pronunciation.
A lot of you also have like a deep, soft voice when you talk. If I can
Oh, that
say it in that
really,
way.
really.
Like you have like a deep, soft voice, like a really likable voice.
Thank you. But I think that's also because I drank some beer, maybe. But the funny thing is,
You know, people always
human.
want to joke about Germans, like they scream when they talk, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's some World War II memes around.
Yeah, there are just a lot of things.
I don't know, makes no sense anymore. But
I don't get people like also that. I even have talked about German people that still feel bad about the, you know, the war stuff, and I'm just
why
would you feel bad? Because you
Yeah,
never
why
lived-
would they?
Yeah, because you didn't even live at that point. You have no responsibility
Just
about what
makes
happened back then. You know, it's not your fault. You wasn't even born.
No,
So you shouldn't feel bad.
that's actually a Catholic thing in a way. Christians, Catholics like to live by burden that was given to them at birth. It's weird. I think that's my explanation for it. Might not be true.
Yo, I'm back.
No,
What kind of stuff
but
did I
Hey,
miss?
you know what? I'm 25% Jew, just so you know. So German guys, we're 25% Jew.
Really?
You guys kill us back in the days, you know. I got
I
told
don't
by my parents, like my grandfather was 100%. He must be. Like I got told like he was escaping, you know, from the Germans.
I see. Well, the fun fact is I'm a half Austrian, half Hungarian, half French, and at some point a lot of Czech. So it's a mixed. I don't know the percentage. I'm a super mixed ethnical thing here. That's right.
I
And
think
I-
I'm mixed in 3 different countries because I got the. Actually, my middle name is German. It's Lübeck. It's
Oh,
just
right.
spelled
Makes sense.
different. And
Yeah.
then I have my last name is Valon, and that's Swedish as far as I know.
Oh,
And
that's
also,
cool.
my parents told me if they look back in the family tree, you can see there was like some Norwegian guy in our family. So I have
So
the whole
yes.
the whole
Alright.
Scandinavian thing, and then I have
Yeah.
German too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're mainly Nordish then, though.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Because German for us in Austria is still very Nordic at some point. It's not the Bavarian line, because that's kind of what we are a spring of, I guess, in Austria. But then the rest of Germany is quite northern for us. So the thing I was about to say is that I had my first last name was Kaleda, which is Czech. My second last name was Wimmer, which is very Bavarian. And my third last name now, after I married, is Seinfeld, which is very Jewish. So I kind of don't care at all where I'm from at this point. I just
Always-
don't care.
I don't know. I just find it interesting to find out where you came from. Like sometimes I think
It is,
about doing
yeah.
one of those spit tests, you know, where you spit in the tube and they find out where you come from.
That
But
would
it's
be
really
ridiculous.
I was told the Wimmer branch from me was actually a branch of Posse, which is a bastard child of the Esterhazy branch, which is very, aristocratic at some point. So I really don't think that there's any meaning to anything that I am. I could be anything really at this point. I'm a Jew. I'm a gypsy. I'm an aristocrat from France. It really doesn't matter anymore because I feel it's not the way to think about it. I would like
No.
to be, but I don't think that's the way to think about it.
Well, you can think about it this way. At the end of the day, we're one big family because we came from the,
Exactly.
you know, 2 people at one
That's
point.
Yeah, how do I get these last weird Chivos up? Oh, maybe they auto-popped.
I guess so.
Is B just level 2?
Hello, Xeinok.
Is B just level 2, Ob? The fuck?
Try beating level 2 again.
What the hell?
I'm sorry. We were in a quite a deep talk there, Xeinok. What's your take about language when you learn Chinese, Korean, and Japanese? How does that incorporate to your view of the world? Does it change anything?
Yeah, it changes everything.
I mean, in the sense of